Hello.
Hello. Start in just a few minutes. I'll get everyone on. How you doing, Paul?
Hey, good.
Let's take it this year. Will we go first to worst last year?
That's pretty bad finish.
Blame the Ranger.
Yeah.
Waiting for where? Let's see. Hopefully Joe will jump on. He's the course manager over at Columbia. Using someone's office, so the screens are really. I'll duplicate this. There you go. One up and then agenda. Jim, you ready? Jesse, you ready?
Ready.
Ready here.
I don't see. Joe, you on?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to the 2025 season. As you know, we've switched courses this year. Victory Links is no longer doing leagues, so we had to locate and find a new course. Columbia has a pretty central location for Mountains View, OHQ, MECC, and some of the other ones. Of the other sites. The other courses were a lot more expensive and could not accommodate our league. We looked at Bunker and they would give us 10 weeks because they have a lot of tournaments on Mondays, which then we would almost start at 6 o'clock, which wouldn't work during the later fall time because of the light. And also they wouldn't have carts. So Columbia had an open spot. They're another Minneapolis course. And with that, Joe will give us some of the benefits of joining the Minneapolis courses. Tuesday night league is also on the Gross National or Francis Gross. With that, there are some benefits if you play in that league and in this league, you get the Minneapolis players card. What else do we have? Leadership staff. We have Jim, who's in charge of a lot of the website stuff, the scoring, the handicaps, all the content on there. Jesse has joined our team as well. He's going to be doing a lot of the rules and helping me with forcing pace of play. We don't want a slow 3-hour round this year or longer as we had last year, which I know there's a lot of complaints, and I heard them all and I received them. And if I have to leave my hole to go yell at people, we'll find a way to discipline those slow people. But going forward, I'll let Joe jump on, talk about Columbia and its benefits and the player's card as well. So Joe, floor is yours.
Sure. Thanks, guys, and welcome to Columbia. We're excited to have you here this year. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, all right. So regarding the player's card gets you one free round of golf that can be used anytime outside of league play. I would suggest using it for an 18-hole round. That's going to be your best dollar value. That's a $46 value right there. in that card. It also gets you $6 off 9-hole rounds and $12 off 18-hole rounds, and that's good at all 5 of the Minneapolis city courses. So Columbia, Gross, Hiawatha, Meadowbrook, and Theater Worth. It's good every day of the week. There's no restrictions on when that card can be used. You're also going to get 20% off regularly priced merchandise within all of the golf shops that we have here. You're also can make tee times up to 2 weeks in advance. So those are the benefits of the players cards. Here specifically at Columbia, we have a driving range. We also have simulators, and we're offering the driving range is not located at the clubhouse itself, so it's got a different location on St. Anthony Parkway. If you choose to warm up prior to your round, you can pay for range balls down there. Otherwise, this year, because we have the simulators, we're going to offer just like a 15-minute warm-up session that you can use for the simulators upstairs here at Columbia. And I think it's $8 for that. So those are kind of the benefits of Columbia. We have full liquor license here, so you can get drinks while you're out there, birdie juice to help you along your play. And food and beverage is kind of like a short order type grill, so hamburgers, hot dogs, Polish, brats, sandwiches, stuff like that. So that's kind of what Columbia has to offer you. And once again, thanks for bringing your league out to Columbia this year. And we're excited to get some warm weather and see everybody out here.
Before we move into rules and website and stuff, does anyone have questions for Joe about the course?
I have a question about the how late are you guys open for food and beverages?
Typically, it's around 8 o'clock that stays open. So it's going to vary depending upon where we are in the season. But right around 8 o'clock or so.
All right. Yeah, the reason I asked when we played at Gross, a lot of times it seemed like it was closed by the time we got off the course. And that might just been the pace of play. I won't deny that sometimes. Thanks.
Yep. Jim,
Joe, you did
question?
mention there was like another league after us.
Yes, we have, let's see here. After you, there's a league. It's kind of like a half league. So they're going to be out there for about 10 weeks. But to start the season, they'll be behind you. There's also going to be leagues going off the other side. So we run leagues off both sides Monday through Thursday evening. So it's going to be busy. Like I love the focus on pace of play. We love to hear that. Our goal out here is to be 2 hours and 10 minutes for 9 holes. So
Another thing this year, guys, is we're going to tee times. We'll start at 4:30, or was it 4:28? 4:32, and the last tee time will be 5:28. If I'm right, Joe.
correct.
So, as I mentioned that to a few other guys. If your foursome gets there, or if you get there and your foursome is not full, and the group behind you is ready, let them tee off first. And then you shift back one, but your whole team the whole foursome stays together. Jim we'll give an update on the pairings and how he does it, like we did at Victory. You'll still have the foursomes, the team pairings and such, but it's now by tee times, but instead of by hole. So Jim will go through that in a few minutes. Is there any other questions for Joe?
Is the high player card a physical card? Maybe that's for the leadership team? How do we distribute those?
It's both a physical card and it's in your customer profile. So I'll need name, email address, cell phone number, and zip code for each one of the players. And then it'll sit in your customer profile, but we can also give physical cards as well. I would suggest the physical cards too, just to make sure.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Question I have is, are we always either on the front or the back, or is it a mixture?
You're gonna alternate every week, every other week. So
Alternate.
1 week you'll be on the front, next week you'll be on the back, and it'll go like that. The only, I think in talking to Swan, we decided that we were going to play the week of July 4th. So you guys would be alternating all the time.
Joe, are there any local rules that you want to explain just in general? I haven't played there yet, so I'm not sure about them.
There is a couple hazards areas that we play as hazards here. So once you'll get out and see the course, you'll have a better idea of what I'm talking about. But those are just marked as hazards, general stuff like that. There is a couple of like no-mow areas that we also treat as hazards that you can't necessarily see off the tee, like on the 9th hole is a good one. So you'll have to estimate where your ball entered into the no more area, or the hazard as we mark it. And you can play inside of the no more area, but we have it marked off as a hazard. So that's something that your league may want to come up with specific rules on how you want to play that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Let's go with Jesse and some of the rules for our league and for the course.
Sounds good. Thank you. So like I was talking with Joe there, I'm not sure. I haven't played at Columbia yet. So once I get more details on the local rules, I'll get those posted on the website as well. I think Tuan was already kind of talking about the general stuff. We're doing tee time based, 4:30-ish start time. Like Tuan was saying too, if your team isn't fully ready, the only, if the team behind you is ready, you can let them play through, but the expectation is that you need to show up for your designated tee time. Like we can't just keep pushing group after group through. So do your best unless it's like, dire situations that you can't make your tee time. Kind of like we were talking about earlier too, pace of play is going to be big, especially with the tee time setup versus the shotgun we had in prior years. So, once the group in front of you is a safe distance away, please be ready to play. And I think the expectation, like the USGA rules, try to recommend 40 seconds on addressing your ball. If you do lose a ball, our general rule is you have 3 minutes to find it. I think we need to use more discretion too. Like if you're chronically losing balls on a hole, or the team behind you is waiting a lot, try to use more discretion on the lost ball timing. I think it was brought up too. The pairings will be made based off handicaps that we're working on. Trying to think what else. Gimme putts. The expectation, if you have a putt within a putter's length, that's a gimme. You can always confirm with anybody in your group that there's agreement that's within a putter length. You are allowed to putt the putt if you want to, but once you address it, you have to count that stroke then.
Count the stroke, people.
Yeah.
I've played a few people who are like, oh, it's a 3. I'm like, no, it still counts as a 4. You still have to think of it as being a putt in.
Yeah.
Joe, here's a question. Do your flag sticks have the black lines on them?
Don't know specifically what you're talking about, but they do have different colors on them. Is it like a general 3-foot length thing that you're talking about, or?
Yeah.
I'd have to take a look.
What kind of golf balls are in the shop?
So some courses have like up on the bottom of the flag, 3 feet is like a black line around the bottom of the flag. Officially, that's what the gimme is, because some people have different. Like I have a short putter, and I know some people have long putters, and like, yeah, dude, your putter is a little bit longer. I'm not going to give you that, but
Sure,
so that
I'd have to take a look to verify, but I can certainly do that.
Okay, that's just one way that you can just balance it out for make it equal for everybody. But someone asked about what do you have in your pro shop for golf balls and stuff?
We have clothing, hats, golf balls, tees, some knick-knack accessory type things, divot repair tools, various things like that. Shoes, socks. I think that's
You have Callaway Triple Track, or do I have to go to Golf Galaxy? I'm just wondering if I have to go to Golf Galaxy ahead of time.
What was the product?
Callaway Triple Tracks or Titleist Pro V1s.
We're Titleist exclusive here at this site.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
All right. What else? Especially with kind of the spring, the fairways aren't the best to begin the year. It is permissible to just improve your lie only in the fairway. You can't go closer to the hole, but you can use your club head to move it no more than 4 inches, only in the fairway. Trying to think what else here. There's going to be more specifics on the rule page too that'll explain, the scoring, what to do if teams don't show up, or if a player doesn't show up. There's like the no opposition scoring rules that all the details will be in there. Trying to think too. I would hope most people have an understanding of like general golf etiquette as well. Always repairing your divot and ball marks on the green. After playing a shot in the bunker, rake the bunker to its original state. Just being mindful where you walk. You don't want to damage the course. Keep carts on the cart path as much as possible. We talked about steady pace of play. Just being quiet while other people are hitting their shots. I think another one too, I've seen issues with, don't stand in the the line of sight and play of others, especially on the green. Don't walk in people's putting line. Also, not just in front of them, but when somebody's putting, don't stand directly behind them. I know I've seen that in the past as well. One thing you can do, when we do our scrambles, you can ask for permission to stand behind your teammate, obviously, to get the putting line in scrambles, but don't do that during play against other people. Arrive early, give yourself time to warm up. Dress appropriately. I know I'll talk with Joe more on kind of the local rules, but golf appropriate wear. Try and do collared shirts, avoid jeans as much as possible. I think a big thing we saw too, just try and avoid distractions, keep phones on silent, just avoid noises and unnecessary conversations especially when people are hitting. I think that's the big overview I got. Like I said, more details will be posted on the site once we get more information throughout the year on local rules and the scoring that we're working on.
Yeah, I guess go ahead, Jim.
I was saying just a couple things to add, especially a long pace of play, that maybe are unique for some of the new players. I think people have been in the league are aware of these, but things like out of bounds, we play as a lateral, right? So you're not walking back to the tee box to re-hit on white stakes. It's been a while since I played Columbia, but I know there's some out of bounds, especially along Central there. So those are played as lateral. There's a quadruple bogey max on any hole. So if you're hitting 2 out of bounds, you might as well just pick it up and take the quad bogey, because for entering scores, for points, and for handicap purposes, it all gets capped. So it's putting a 12 into the system is not going to be any different than putting an 8 in on a par 4. So don't waste people's time there. Jesse, I know you mentioned the looking for the ball, but yeah, be judicious. That's we can suck down a lot of time with people looking for balls, especially if it's multiple people in the same group. Trying to think. Yeah, scoring wise, definitely look on the website. It's effectively match play. There's a point per hole. There's a couple points for low net, etc. I think Juan, anything else? Jesse, now that you're thinking about it, anything else we missed?
I guess, our league represents Medtronic, and we represent Medtronic. So best behavior, best etiquette, best everything we can because other companies are after us in league wise, and when I want to challenge other companies, I want to make sure that they know that we are who we say we are. We're Medtronic. We're the big boys. So let's act like it and not that we haven't, but it's just sometimes we can get a little frustrated and throw things. Let's try not to damage too much.
Quan, are you speaking for yourself or?
Sometimes. No. I get just more frustrated with pace of play when I hear it. So let's go into the scoring and website, Jim.
Sounds good. I'm gonna share. All right, hopefully you can all see that. So if you haven't yet, I would encourage everyone to go onto our website. So it's mdtgolf.com. That's externally accessible. You don't have to be on the internet or anything like that. You can get it from your phone. So right now the homepage is going to present you with some week 1 stuff. There's the lineup tool and submitting score. I'll go through both of these, but this will change from week to week. So this will be just kind of like where you should go, and the lineup tool will tell you what time you're teeing off, who you're playing against, etc. Kind of give you some information there, and then finally, when you're done with your round, you can come back here and submit your score to the website, and all the scoring is then done in real time as folks submit it. Just kind of walking across the top of the menu here, there's a results where again you can get to the lineup tool and submit scores. There'll be a page for the proxies and prizes that we hand out. There's nothing there now, but these will get updated as the year goes on. And then each of the weeks scoring, again, that'll get updated as we go along. I guess I'd encourage folks now, go check out the schedule. So this has the week by week, what time we're starting, which course front versus back, which team's playing which, and some of the pairings. As you get into the league, especially for the new folks, this will start to make a lot more sense. It looks really busy, and it kind of is, but the lineup tool will really help you sort of navigate this and make sense of what's going on here. But the long and short of it is we have 4 matches because there's 8 teams, and each match has 2 tee times. So we start at 4:32, go across to 5:28. So there's 8 foursomes teeing off. So that corresponds with the 4 matches. And then the pairings just means the 1 handicap and the 3 handicap from each team are together in a group, and the 2 handicap and the 4 handicap from each group or from each team are together. We do have 2 scrambles. So we're going to start the year off with a scramble on May 5th. And then another one mid-year. There'll be 6 regular season weeks. I think Mitch is going to jump on here at the top of the hour and talk through how we're breaking out prizes, but there'll be prize monies for sort of the each half of the year, the scrambles, and then the league championship, and then proxies. There's a standings page. This will update as we go along, as well as stats. We'll keep track of points, match play, low net, low gross. The roster and handicaps have all been updated for everybody, so definitely go on and check out your team and your profile page. I'll just jump to mine. So here's our team, team 5. Click on your name, get to your profile. You can click along the top here, look at just your year-to-date scores. This is obviously going back to last year, but you can look at your last 12 and all time. It'll give you a breakdown of how you've scored, kind of how you're doing on the par 3s and 4s, and then trends of your scoring points and handicap over time. There's a roster page. This just kind of gives you quick access to the whole league. And this rules page, Jesse, I think, talked through a lot of this. This will get updated, so don't maybe go read everything in detail just yet. We're going to get this live here with all the updates as we migrate from Victory to Columbia here in the next few days. And yeah, I think that's about it in terms of pages. They'll have the Victory links course image, but at least the Columbia course information is updated. All right, so let's go back there. I guess before I jump into the lineup tool or submit score, any questions on just the website? Okay.
You maybe just
Let's
send a
jump-
link in the chat for the site.
Sure. Juan, can you do that?
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, so let's jump into the lineup tool. So this is going to be basically really helpful to understand when you're playing and who you're playing. So each week this will update automatically the drop downs and everything. So I'm going to go in and pick our matchup, which is Team 5 versus Team 6. And so what you can do is say, okay, for Team 5, Charlie, myself, Kepler, and Lulick are going to be playing. So it'll give you the pairing A, B, C, and D. It'll tell you what hole you're starting on. Obviously, we're on the back 9 week 1, so it'll be hole 10, but then it'll importantly tell you the tee time. So our matchup is going to have the first 2 tee times, week 1, 5:04 and 5:12. You can then also come in and pick your opponent, say Eric, Josh, Noah, and Tom, and it automatically gives you the matchups for the 2 teams. I'm going to pause there. This is pretty straightforward, but this is going to be kind of how you make sense of the schedule. This is all the same information that's on the schedule page, but it's actually allowing you to select who's playing that particular week and kind of give you the matchups. All right, and then so if I go to submit scores, this first week's going to look a little different because we're doing a scramble. So it'll just be kind of one team, one score. But what you'll want to do is you'll want to come in and select who actually played in the scramble. You can play with 1, you can play with 6. I think we'll send some more information out ahead of the first scramble. But if all 6 players are playing, there's only 4 players that play per hole. So the team captain will kind of have to figure out which 4 of the 6 are playing on each hole, but you kind of rotate out. And, if there's 6 of you, you end up taking kind of 2 holes off, or you're just walking along, keeping everybody company. But then the team handicap is automatically calculated. So here, if we had these 4 playing, we would be a -1. And then we would just at the end of the night come in and enter our scores and hit submit. And then the results would all get posted to the website.
Hey,
Give
Jim,
up.
can you hear me? Yeah,
Yeah.
we're noticing our own team and then looking at the team you're putting up here. Some of the handicaps are really, really, really low. Is this still a work in progress, or what's going on there?
No, so I think this was going to be a point of discussion, Tuan, today during this call. So right now, the way I have everything loaded in, we are playing from the white tees. And maybe since Joe's on the call, this would be good to get maybe his perspective. The rating and slope for the white tees is pretty easy. So that, this is our course adjusted handicap, which lowered everyone's handicap from victory by somewhere 4 to 5 to maybe 6 strokes. So I don't know how folks feel about that. If we want to play from the blues or even the tips, that would kind of bring these numbers back to maybe what people are expecting.
The blues are our traditional men's tees. So we switched colors. So the whites are the front tees, or what was called the ladies tees, a couple years ago. Now they're just the front tees. But the blue tees are the traditional men's tees.
We should play blues. There's no way we should be playing front tees. I mean,
Yeah, because white is almost 4,800, blue is 59, and black is 62. Does that sound right, Joe?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So unless there's some strong voices against it, maybe we'll plan to play the blues. So then, yeah, I'll make sure that all gets updated then for the website. So expect these to probably go up by 2 strokes, if I had to guess. I think the blues at Columbia are still a little bit easier than what we were playing at Victory, just from a rating slope.
And this year,
Yeah,
everybody will play from the same tee box. There's no silvers or whites or whatnot. It's all the same tee box.
Yep. All right, I'm going to jump just to week 2 to show you what that will look like once we're kind of into the regular season. So this top part will look a lot like the lineup tool, where you come in, you select the match, and then you would just come in and say, okay, if I was playing against Charlie, then I can come in here and start entering scores. I would fill all this out. You don't have to fill out all 4 pairings at once. So if I just fill out pairing A and hit submit and someone else comes back, they can fill in pairing B or C or D and kind of submit it piecewise, or sometimes it's just easier so we aren't having to bother people about entering scores, to just have the captain do it at the end of the night, enter all 4 scores once you get the cards back at the clubhouse. Would be my recommendation, but just know, don't wait for that to happen if it's stopping you from entering scores. Get them into the website so then you don't lose the scorecard and have to try and remember.
Could I ask, please get them in a little bit faster? Sometimes it's almost a week before some scores got in. It really only takes a minute to do it, especially at the golf course. Someone can read them off and boom, boom, you're done.
Yeah. To the point, Paul, I've made it so easy where if you hit 5, it automatically advances to the next box. So you can just keep typing in the numbers.
Beautiful.
It's easy. So just get it done.
Yeah, do it in the clubhouse. Grab a drink, some wings or something. Do it right afterwards if you have time. Otherwise, the sooner the better. It just, everyone wants to see what everyone did, and it just makes the game a little more fun. Yeah. Even if you shot bad, it's still fun to see what your other colleagues have done.
Yeah, and then I'll just mention this. Last year at Victory, we had an experimental feature where we had live scoring and GPS capability through the website. I don't have that done for Columbia, probably in time for the start of the season, but maybe stay tuned for that. I'll plan to roll that out in a few weeks.
Did many of you use that function by chance?
We didn't really
GPS?
advertise it. You could get to it by clicking through the website, but we didn't really. I didn't want the whole league using it all at once and everyone finding all the bugs. But
I didn't know it was there.
I used it most of the year last year and it seemed to work pretty well. So I think I just gotta get all the GPS information updated.
What's the other? Are any questions on that? Whether it's scoring, the handicaps, websites. And again, the scramble will be 4 people that can play. The other 2 have to rotate in. It's discrepancy of the captain, and also it is the first round and is the test of our pace of play. I know Joe would be very happy if we can get it done soon, and then maybe all meet inside the clubhouse. That way you get to know your players, get to know your teammates and such, and also captains, please try to get your schedules. If you don't have a template, let me know and I'll send you a template on how to balance the schedule for your team.
Just to reiterate on that first week, we don't allow sixums, so you're going to get some strange looks from people. So keeping up that pace of play into that 2 hours and 10 minutes, especially that first week, where there might be more than 4 or 5 people out on the course on a per group, would be very, very helpful.
Yep, let's set a good representation of our league guys and just drop and go.
Yeah, certainly not required, but I guess I like to encourage at least to have 1 cart in each scramble group. Just allows you to play the hole a little faster if you've at least got 1 cart to go pick up other balls and stuff.
And maybe the
Something
2
to
players
consider.
that aren't playing could pick up the 2 balls too. That could be
Exactly.
an option.
Hey, Joe, you mentioned food and beverages, but is there a drink cart on the course?
Yes, there is.
Thank you.
And then, sorry, Tuan, I had one more plug I wanted to make. You'll notice not everyone will have an image and or updated information on their profile. So if you can go in, check out your profile page. If your image and any information is missing, please just send me an email with that. I'll get that updated on the website. It's really useful to have your picture. I know not everyone likes that, but it's really useful to have your picture, especially for the new folks who are trying to learn who's who and who they're playing against. It just is helpful to have a face to put to a name.
There was one question, Jim, that I just saw is Will says he's never had an eagle. He says he has 4% eagles. And Paul mentioned the same. He's at 11%, same as well. He's never had one in a golf league. Are those going to be adjusted, or
I think
Paul, do you want
maybe because the holes are different from Victory and the new course, that it's maybe populating differently or something like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll take a look. I don't know if I have mine, because mine is also saying 6% eagle, and I don't know if I've maybe had one or two.
Tuan, just to be clear, I've never got one in my life, not only in league, so gotta clarify that, man.
I've seen you play at, and I agree on that. So
we got to change that this year.
There might be some kinks with the course migration in the data. I'll dig into that. Good call out.
I see if there's any other questions or concerns.
I think rainouts too, just so everybody's aware. I think, and Joe, for you too, I think we're going to do our best to contact the course by 3 p.m. now that we're teeing off around 4:30. So if we don't, I think we're usually pretty good on sending out an email if the play is going to be canceled for that day due to weather. But we'll also communicate with the course as soon as we can.
Yeah, regarding that, guys, traditionally speaking, we make a determination, a final call 1 hour prior to the first tee time of the day. And then I would send out a communication to Tuan to then pass the information down to league players if we need to cancel. Because as you all know, just because it's raining where you are doesn't mean it's raining where the course is at. And so just want to make sure we're clear on that too.
Perfect.
I guess.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
I suggested this last year, but we had a couple of cases where folks are away from their laptop maybe an hour early to get to Victory Links and never saw an email. So can we set up at least a text chain for the captains, maybe?
That's what I was just going to say. Is like I will hear from Joe, and then I will get all the captains' numbers, and I'll be the one that will send the text out. And captains, you need to start your own text chain as well, even if you're not playing that week, still be ready to send all a text, please. We'll do better this year than we did last year. I know last year we had some people that weren't playing and they'd show up and then Victory one hole in or just 5 minutes before tee time or a shotgun. They were like, nope, everyone off. And it was a mess. So I think we'll have a better system this year.
I think we had some weird timing with weather last year, very last minute cancellations, and so that made it a little bit tricky. But yes, we'll try to be better about that this year.
Mitch?
And hello, everybody. Yes. Yeah, I apologize. I was late to dial in. I am part of the leadership team with Tuan and Jesse and Jim. So yeah, glad to be here. Glad to have you all here. Special welcome to the new players. Looking forward to a good season.
So we just went through all the agenda items, and we're now down to your section, Mitch, which is perfect timing.
Look at that, great timing. Yes, well, I don't know what my role is specifically on the leadership team. VP of operations, money, prizes, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to share a little bit more about the money, the financials, and what you all are excited about is the prizes. We have a lot of money allocated towards prizes, and we are excited to pay those out. So I don't know what was discussed earlier, but the league fee for this year, the entire year, including green fees and prizes, is $365. I am going to copy the link for our Venmo account, which is where we prefer payment is sent. We have a specific Medtronic golf Venmo account. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once and it's not working here. Our Venmo account is at MDT Golf account in Venmo. So our total for each player is going to be $365 for the season. And this will cover all of your golf, all of the prizes. The course fees come to a total of $313 for 16 weeks, and then $52 per player is being allocated towards prizes, and all of that will be paid out through the season. And so if you're new to the league, we have many different ways in which we pay out the prizes. We do scramble prizes. So the top team has an allocation. Whoever scores the best in our scrambles gets paid out. We have the season structured in a first half and second half, and then depending on points, whoever has the most points is going to get paid out. I think we pay out the top 3 teams, if I'm not mistaken. We're still working on finalizing the allocations for all of the prizes, but we will pay out for the first half of the season leaders and then the second half of the season leaders. And then we'll have a playoff format. We have 2 weeks for playoffs. 4 teams will make the playoffs. And then we will have payouts for those teams depending on how they finish the season with the playoffs and then, of course, the championship. And then we will have weekly proxies that we do. We do 3 proxies per week multiplied by 16 weeks. We have 48 proxies that we will be awarding prizes for. So lots of ways to earn the prize money. In the past, we have paid that out via shop credit to Victory Links, and we anticipate changing that last year. We are planning to deliver that in cash. So you can spend it however you want. You can spend it at the course, which wouldn't be a bad idea because we do get Joe, help me if I'm not mistaken, 20% off merchandise with our patron cards. Oh. Sorry, I'm hearing an echo now. Joe, do you just want to go on mute? Is that better? All right, that's better. Sorry, I don't know what was happening. When you came off mute, Joe, I heard an echo. Not sure if that was just me or if everybody heard that. But yes, we are getting the patron card that is included in the league dues. That lowers our weekly rate. We have additional benefits. You get a free round. You get 20% off merchandise. So we thought that was good value for the league this year. I think that's all I have with regards to the money, the prizes. We do anticipate posting a page on the website for prizes, so you can stay up to date on, who won proxies for a week, how we're doing, and given, you'll see standings, that's on the website, but we do want to have a page for prizes so you can see that in real time with where everybody stands. What questions do you have on that?
I think right now only Brian Gustafson and myself are playing on the Tuesday night league too. So we also have the players card, which will deduct from that. Is there anyone else that has the players card? Make sure you let me and Mitch and the leadership team know so we can make sure your cost is adjusted correctly.
Yep. You do not need to pay that twice, correct?
I'll just add too, Mitch, we definitely prefer Venmo. That's going to be the easiest. We also have a PayPal account if you're not set up with Venmo. And then thirdly, we can accept a check, although we will heckle you if you do that. So
I see a question from Dave Pope. Players card is included in the 365. The all-in cost for each player is 365. And then as the leadership team, we'll be working directly with Joe to make sure that we are paying the course on a weekly basis or whatever cadence we settle on. But the 365 is for the entire season. What other questions do you have?
Sorry, I'm not sure if it was said earlier. What is the cart fee for each night?
Joe, I saw you come off mute. I don't want to echo again. I believe it's $14, but I'll let you confirm that.
I don't think Joe's mic's working anymore.
Must not be. Well, we'll double check on that and get back to you, but I believe it is $14 if you'd like to purchase a card for the evening. And so
Okay.
that would be an additional cost that you would need to cover the night of the round.
Right. Okay, thanks.
He said he put in the chat $14 per rider.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like there's any difference with the player's card in terms of cart cost.
Correct.
Another question was, at Victory, can we please rake the traps and replace our ball? City courses do not have very good bunkers, but thanks for consideration. I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, this is Paul. I wrote that. I think at Victory, it was in our rules where if the bunkers were in poor shape, someone didn't rake or whatever, you could rake, put your ball down and then hit out of the bunker. And city courses, maybe the bunkers aren't as well maintained as Victory Links. Can you consider having a rule where if you are in a bunker and it's hard as a rock, or someone left their footprints in there, you can pick up the ball, rake, and drop?
How often you hitting from the bunker, Paul?
Well, this came from one of my team members.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
I think my general approach there is, I think work out something with the person you're playing against. If you can both come to an agreement, like, okay, this is a really unfair lie,
Yep.
All right,
I have no issues with that. If that's a rule we want to make as a league, no issues. That way we all have the same playing rules. We don't want to be hitting out of rock hard bunkers. So yeah, otherwise connect with your group that you're playing with and be in agreement. No issues on that.
I think that's good as long as you don't over improve your lie, right? If you're up against the bank, move it to the center. That's not what we should be doing.
For sure.
That's what I was just looking at.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything official on the rules page for that, but to the whole point, if there's a giant foot mark and your ball's buried in that, or there's washout, typically it's expected you would play it, but you can have your group evaluate it, and as long as there's alignment to rake it and then put the ball at that position, I think that's fine, especially for earlier in the year with poor conditions.
Yeah, I think communication with your group is key. Don't go just do these things on your own. I think also just keep in mind, this isn't the PGA Tour. We're a work golf league on a city course. Let's trying to get home at a decent time and not to have 3-hour rides. So,
did you cancel the order for the green jacket, Jim? just kidding.
Green jacket.
All right, that's enough out of me.
Sometimes I get worried when we start going into, when can I improve my lie and not? Because it's like the only rule we officially have is the fairway rule that I discussed earlier, by, moving your ball no closer to the hole 4 inches in the fairway to improve your lie. But, I don't want to open it up like, well, what if my ball's in the rough and I'm in a divot and like all this stuff. So, like I said, if it's really that bad in a bunker, just confirm with your team and just make sure there's alignment on that. What other questions?
All right. Well, league starts May 5th at 4:32. Driving range is a ways away, but if you want to get there early, if you can get out of the meetings, and traffic does bog up on that 694 there, so just prepare. Check your Google Maps or whatnot, so you know how much time you have to get to the course and warm up. Joe, I think there's a putting range or putting area in the back towards the first tee. Anything else? We can give you guys some time back.
Quick question. Does the range get pretty full before we tee off?
I guess mic's still not working, but that to Twan's point, the driving range is significantly farther away from the clubhouse than you would think. Like you literally have to drive over there if you haven't been there before, like in your car. Or if you get there early enough, you might have enough time to take a cart there, but it's going to be like a 10-minute cart drive. So usually it is like
I'm familiar with it. I've been there a number of times, but I'm just kind of wondering if, if I drive straight there, how often is it going to be completely full? So it doesn't pay to even try. I don't know. Just a question, I guess.
The clubhouse is over
it's-
here,
Yeah.
and this here, and then the driving range, as you can see, is over by the tracks.
I think it's usually, it is kind of practice facility based. Like I think you even pay with a debit card or credit card to get the balls over there. So some people do just go there to practice versus maybe play. So it could be busier than what you might expect. I know it's probably the same like Victory Links too. I felt like Victory Links was used quite a bit just for practicing.
Joe did put in the range can get full with different high school teams there, so just be warned, I guess.
Other stoplights on 33rd and St. Anthony Parkway, I'm assuming there's a stoplight. Just wondering, if you could take a left on that busy street at that time, might want to think about that.
I would say the smart path there is down East River Road and a left on St. Anthony Boulevard or University and avoid Central if you're coming from the north.
What's the parking situation going to be? I know like we're going to have our scramble and then there's 2 leagues going on at once. Like is that lot going to be big enough for everyone to get in?
I think it's a fairly big lot.
Pretty big lot, yeah. I don't.
Okay.
So as soon as we get all your information and your payments, we can get these player cards up and ready. We start in what 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2.5.
2.5. Maybe get a round out there beforehand and use that discount or whatnot, and bring your best this year, fellas.
I think Twan, just quickly on week 1, I think in years past we would always kind of meet before the round, but that was with a shotgun start. So I don't think we'll do anything like that with the kind of the staggered tee times. I would encourage teams to maybe meet, 10, 15, 20 minutes before your scheduled tee time, just to make sure you've got everybody, especially for if you've got new players on your team, just make sure you're identifying them and getting together. And then I'll just say too, the lineup tool is really for the kind of week 2 and beyond, not necessarily for the scramble. So don't use the lineup tool. We'll email out starting tee times for each team for week 1.
I think too with subs, just make sure you have a full team ready. And if you're going to have to miss league when you're scheduled, do your diligence, reach out to your teammates first to see if somebody can cover. I think there is like our distribution list to our DL for the golf league if you need a sub too. So just keep that in mind.
And there's plenty of subs. So
Oh yeah.
we'd like to give the guys who are actually paying and officially rostered first dibs versus going to the sub list. So I think that form of communication is, hey, our team needs somebody. Then we'll send an email to the whole active list, see if someone will fill in. And then if that's still not full, we'll go to our sub list. And then after this meeting, I'll get that captain's team schedule Excel sheet that you guys can fill in and then adjust your schedules for your team. And then that way you can figure out who's playing on which weeks. Any last questions, comments, or concerns, or taunt. I don't know if you want to taunt some other team, but it's your it's your time. It's your floor. I'm good at that, so I'm gonna just let my bad golf play for itself.
When is payment due?
1 week before the season starts.
Thank you.
I think as Twan said earlier, if you can, the earlier you pay, I think the earlier we can get the players' cards assigned too.
Yeah, the sooner the better. But yeah, I think we wrote on the website 1 week before we kick off the season. And on that note, if you are submitting Venmo and it asks for like the last 4 digits of the telephone number, it is 5422. I will enter that in the chat if you need it. Otherwise, I think you can bypass that, but if you want to enter that, those are the last 4 of the phone number associated with the account.
What was your social security number, Mitch?
Let me, yeah, I'll get that in the chat here. Yep.
You drop that too. Thanks.
Okay, gentlemen. Well, thank you all for joining. We look forward to a great season. Remember, we have 2 letters we want to make sure everyone knows is PP, pace of play, or POP. That way we have more time in the clubhouse. So thank you. I'm going to give you 4 minutes back. Any last words from the leadership team?
Oh, I'm just replying to the question about what the Venmo account is. I'm throwing it in the chat one more time. It's at MDT golf-account.
And maybe a Medtronic Golf League attire. Is there anything this year?
I think just kind of, I'll have it on the rules page too, just general etiquette, collared shirt, don't wear jeans as best as possible. Just your typical golf. Or are you talking about like actual MDT, like golf shirts and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, Twan might know more.
If I get, I'll send an email, see if people are interested. I customized a lot of the stuff previous years, but not very many people bought it. Maybe like 8 people. So a lot of these shirts that like I have right now, I got customized. They're like $20, $25. It's like a nice pullover. It's real thin, but I can get those customized and I can get them within 4 weeks if people are interested. So
You have 8XL?
we have a 7 and a 9 left, but
All right.
Good
All
stuff.
right, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
I recorded this. I'll send the link out for those who weren't here so they can view what we had to talk about. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.